All right, guys, welcome back to my channel. I'm going to talk about something that I've been doing for the last 3.5 weeks now. That's completely changed my life, and it's going to turn this homestead upside down, basically. Now, a month ago, it was about a month ago, this was me. Okay, I'm 6 foot tall. I was 218 pounds in this picture, and with a big old gut. It started getting out of control, obviously, and I had to put a stop to it. I've always been into fitness when I was younger. I used to bodybuild, in case anybody didn't know, and so I always try to stay in good shape. But now that I'm getting older, and things change basically. But anyways, that was the old me, and now it's been 3.5 weeks, and that gut that I had, it's all gone. Now, I have more to lose, and the bad part is that fat that I did have around my gut, that was not the fat on the outside, right under the skin. That was visceral fat. That was a fat that was underneath the muscle and in and around the organs. That's not good. That's the bad fat. So I was doing a ton of research and come across the carnivore diet. Carnivore diet. Carnivore is mostly eating all meat and a tiny bit of vegetables. You have to keep it within under, I'm not sure if it's 20 milligrams or 50 milligrams of carbs a day. I was doing that for the first week. So I was just eating meat and just a tiny bit of vegetables. After that, I went strictly meat. And the meats that I stick with are the ruminant, I think they call it, animals. These are the biblically clean animals, basically, which are the animals that have a split hoof. Their hooves are split, and they chew their cud. If you don't know what chewing the cud is animals that eat grass, they graze, and they have two stomachs. They have a complex digestive system, and these animals, they eat the grass, they swallow it into one stomach, and then it ferments there. And then after it's fermented, it comes back up, they re-chew it again, and it goes into the other stomach, the main one, and it gets digested out. Those are the type of animals that we all should be eating, actually. You'll avoid parasites and nasty diseases. That's why biblically they call it the clean meats. They don't carry disease like parasites and stuff, like pigs and pork and all that junk. I stick with those type of meats. So that's your cow, lamb, goat, if you can find it. Your deer, as far as wild animals, bison, buffalo, elk, moose, oxen, all those cow type animals, There's other ones too, but those are the basic ones. So sticking with those only. And as far as fowl, stick with also the clean ones, obviously. So that would be the basic stuff that most people eat. It's your chicken, turkey. Pheasant is good too. Quail, that's good too. Although quail, I tried it once. It's just not enough meat on there for me. But that's fine too. So those are the type of meats that I eat. That's how in 3 weeks I went from 218 to, as of this morning, I'm 200 pounds. It's not a whole lot of weight, 18 pounds I lost, but I don't have that big gut anymore. So for the past, I want to say 15 to 17 years, I will just say 17 years ago or so, for 10 years of that, I was plant-based. That was plant-based diet was my diet. I don't want to say vegan because vegans are, they make a religion out of it, and if you're not a vegan, then you're a bad person kind of thing. What I was just plant-based, we'll call it. And I was doing it for my health, okay? And then for maybe 5, 6, 7 years of that, maybe 5 years of that, after that, I started going vegetarian. So we moved here in the homestead, started raising chickens. We started having eggs, of course, and started eating eggs. And that was basically my diet. Plant-based, and then I became vegetarian. So during that time, I suffered with all kinds of inflammation and all kinds of weird symptoms. So in the beginning, I started to get hives on my skin. I was getting it on my chest, basically. I got it also on my arms. And then from there, it turned into, well, the eczema continued, and then on top of that, I started getting some eczema on my shins, like near my ankle area. A little bit of psoriasis there, and also on my knuckles on my right hand. I was getting psoriasis. So I'm like, what is going on with me? You know, what is going on? I started doing more research on that. I started taking probiotics and everything. And, but the thing is, and then during that time, I was also having heart palpitations. So there were PVCs actually, they're pre-ventricular contractions. This is when your heart's beating normal, and all of a sudden, instead of one chamber firing and then the other chamber firing, boom, 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 both fire at the same time, your heart stops for a second, and then restarts itself and continues beating. And those are the ones that feel like your heart skipped a beat, or you're like, whoa, what just happened? You know, that feeling you get. Everybody's had them occasionally, that's normal. But I was having those every other beat or every 8 to 10 beats. It just was so annoying and aggravating, and it was very scary, obviously, in the beginning. So I had all those symptoms. I had, since moving here, all these kinds of allergy symptoms. All kinds of allergy symptoms. Especially when I was cutting grass, itchy, watery eyes, runny nose, sneezing constantly. I couldn't handle it. I just couldn't stand it anymore. I was getting all kinds of arthritic type pains, and pains in my big toe, my right foot, my ankle, and my hip here, joint. And I'm like, what am I getting, gout? You know, I know I'm getting older, but I don't eat the type of diet I thought to get gout. So my basic diet was just all plant, and then, then I became vegetarian. But I was getting all these symptoms in the joints and the gout type pains and and also air hunger I had. Air hunger is when you take a deep breath, but it's not satisfying. And it doesn't, what was happening was I can breathe in and out real fast and I'd get dizzy. My brain was getting oxygen, but my cells in my body weren't. Okay? That's called air hunger. And that was kind of worrisome for me, because I thought, what do I need to do, more cardio, or what's going on? You know, it wasn't normal. Even if you're out of shape, if you're just sitting, you should be all right. So, so what I did then is I got some blood tests and stuff like that. My cholesterol was below low limit. I also suffer from depression a lot, aggravated, moody, just my feelings and everything, just weird. And I'm like, this isn't me. So back to the blood test. I got the blood test. My cholesterol was it wasn't rock bottom, but it was very low, below low limit on the test, way below low limit. I don't remember, it was a while back ago. But you need cholesterol to produce hormones, whether it's testosterone or any other hormone. You need it to produce hormones and a whole array of other things that cholesterol does to help you survive and make you healthy. Cholesterol is not bad for you people. it's all a bunch of lies that they've been telling us all throughout the years, that meat and fat from meat causes cardiovascular issues and cholesterol will clog your arteries and all that stuff. It's all lies. This was started back in the 60s, I think, in the 60s, the 50s or 60s. Sugar companies paying off these researchers to make these eating meat tests look bad and bad for you. You know, if you eat fat, bad, you clog your arteries. They're making cholesterol bad. Not only was it the sugar companies doing that, because then if you don't eat meat, what are you going to eat? Carbohydrates, right? It was also the pharmaceutical companies to sell their statins to lower your cholesterol, because this cholesterol is bad, they say. All the new research now shows that eating meat and the high fats and animal fat will not clog your arteries. Cholesterol will not clog your arteries, and meat does not cause cancer. It's all new research. What clogs your arteries and causes cancer, well, a lot of things cause cancer, chemicals and things, but the main thing is a high carbohydrate diet. All starchy foods, sugars, sugary soda to drink, all that is toxic poison, and it'll cause you to have diabetes, cancer, cardiovascular problems, getting your limbs chopped off because of diabetes, going blind. It is a toxic poison, whether you take a little bit or you take a lot. I know somebody right now that's got their amputated one lower part of their leg, and the other leg is swelled up like a balloon. He's diabetic, and he doesn't care. You know, I tried to tell him all throughout the years, but he just doesn't care. So you can only do so much, right? Anyways, so all this inflammation I was going through, and come to find out in this book right here, which I would suggest getting, Toxic Superfoods, How Oxalate Overload is Making Us All Sick. Okay? Our beloved vegetables, all what I've worked so hard for, was making us sick, basically. It was causing my joint pains and arthritic type pains, and when I was working out just recently, I had to stop because I was getting all this tendon pains in my elbows and my joints and my shoulders here. Not my joint, but the actual tendon itself. This book talks about, it's by Sally Norton. And she's got a lot of videos also on YouTube. I'm going to put a link in the description to get this book if you want. It's not very expensive at all. And it's a pretty thick book, okay? But like almost 290 something pages of it talks about the oxalates that's in the vegetables. And then, I don't know, like half-inch thick, the rest of it is all about the references where she's get all this information. So it's a good book, packed full of information. These oxalates that are in our beloved vegetables, they're, from what I understand, they're calcium crystal oxalates. The body doesn't know what to do with them. Okay, so it stores them in your muscle tissue, in your joints, and everywhere in your body, because it doesn't know how to get rid of the overload when it's just too much. Your body can get rid of some of it through your urine and through your skin. So these oxalates will wreak havoc throughout your body and give you the inflammation that I was having, all this inflammation. I'm so glad I know about this stuff now, because now I understand. It's a bummer because, I like my veggies. You guys see how much I garden, but they were making us sick. We had to stop eating vegetables, and we went on a carnivore diet, my wife and I. And like I said, it's been 3.5 weeks now, and I went from 218 to 200 pounds without starving. You eat until you're satiated, until you're full. Once you're full, if you got any food left over, just wrap it up, put it in the fridge, and eat it the next day or the next meal. Very simple, nothing complicated. And since now we're not going to be eating vegetables anymore, it's freed up so much time because our whole life revolved around harvesting, preparing food, storing food. It was getting to us. I mean, it was just too much. My wife would spend hours and hours in the kitchen just to make a meal. You know, getting all these different recipes, and you have to buy 10 different things, and then you got to mix it all together, and you got to cook it a certain amount, and then you got to pull it out, and then you got to do this, then you got to put it back in the. It was a headache and very stressful just to eat a meal. That's not the way we're supposed to eat. Meals should be simple. So, all I eat now is, like I said, those animals, the ruminant animals, I think they're called. The animals that chew their cud, basically. And they supply all the nutrition that the body needs. And also chicken and turkey and all that stuff too. Fish, lots of fish too. Not seafood, but I eat fish. You can eat seafood if you want, but again, if I stick with the biblically clean meats, and also sea animals, which would be fish. If it's got scales and fins, fine, you can eat it. Everything else is a scavenger, and either a scavenger or meat eater, and it eats garbage, basically, like crabs and lobster and squid and all that. They eat clams. They clean up the ocean, basically. They eat all the poop and stuff. Crustaceans, they eat dead, decaying things. I mean, it's disgusting. You know, why do we have to eat this stuff? You don't. But fish, on the other hand, are cleaner, and that's what salmon. Talk about salmon. I love salmon. It's hard here to get any other type of fish because obviously we're not near the ocean. But if you live near the ocean or by some lakes, you know, some good lakes. I used to live in Michigan. There are lots of fish there, lots of good fish there. But anyways, those are the type of foods I eat. And let me tell you, the third day that I was on a carnivore diet, I started to get this sense of well-being. I just stopped for a second. I said, you know what? I'm starting to feel much better. And then and then I felt like this calming effect coming over me. And as the weeks and as the days and the week went on, I just started feeling better and better and better. I used to have bad allergies when I was cutting grass. I had itchy, watery eyes, sneezing all the time. I get these rashes and stuff. Horrible. I went out to cut the grass last week, and nothing. Nothing. No itchy eyes, no runny nose, no sneezing, nothing. It was beautiful. I actually cut the grass, and I had no allergies at all. And I was like, this is incredible. So all these plants that I was eating was causing inflammation and irritation and just all these effects on the body. And if you didn't know any better, you would go to, you know, one doctor to see about this thing, and another doctor to see about this problem, and then another doctor to see about this problem. And pretty soon you'll have a whole bag of prescription drugs, and you'll be still sick and miserable and just treating symptoms. So by changing my diet, I got rid of everything, the eczema, the air hunger, heart palpitations, gone. Allergies, gone. All the joint pains, everything was gone. Everything. It's just amazing. It's still blowing me away right now, even though I've been on it for almost a month. It's just blowing me away. It really is. So, how the carnivore diet works, I'm no doctor or anything. I don't know, everything about the body. But the basic stuff is eating a plant-based diet, your body runs on carbohydrates. And I used to think, the body has to run on carbohydrates. No, it doesn't. By eating carbohydrates, and especially if you eat carbohydrates, you'll tend to lean towards munching. Because when you eat carbohydrates, your blood sugar, after a while, your blood sugar is going to get low, and you're going to be like, well, you know, I feel like munching on something. So there goes the bag of chips. There goes whatever, something sweet. And you got to fulfill that sweet tooth, basically, to bring your blood sugar back up. And this is a constant roller coaster. And if you're eating carbs just to maintain your blood sugar, you'll be chasing your carbs all day long. You'll be eating carbs all day long. That's why so many people have so much trouble with carbohydrates, because it's a very poor form of energy. It really is. Being on a ketogenic or carnivore diet being on a ketovore diet, or a carnivore diet, your blood sugar always stays the same because you're not putting it in. You're running on ketones. So you want to lean towards the fatty meats and make sure your fat intake level is a little higher, and your body will run on ketones, your fat. And your blood glucose level will always maintain perfect. Not this up and down, up and down. Oh, I'm getting shaky, lightheaded, I got to munch on something. When your body runs on carbohydrates, that's what it does. But when you're eating a carnivore diet, your body just runs on the fat, on ketones, and you start losing fat just like that. You never go hungry. You eat till you're full, and it can't be any easier than that. So guys, that is basically all the things I wanted to cover. Yeah, basically that's it. Very simple diet. And a lot of people think, well, now it gets kind of boring just eating meat, doesn't it? Not really. What's the alternative? Eat my vegetables again and having all this inflammation, heart palpitations. Other people have other weird symptoms too. I don't want to go through that anymore. I don't want to be sick and miserable all the time. I don't want to be depressed, you know. This book is wonderful. If you, Sally Norton, check her out. She's got YouTube videos. Again, the book is Toxic Superfoods. How oxalate overload is making us sick. And a lot of good information in here. Watch her videos. I'm going to put in the description under the video here a link to this book. It's an affiliate link, and if you use it, it helps us out a tiny bit, but it doesn't cost you anything. You can get it there, or you just go right on Amazon and get it, whatever you want to do. I'm going to put some links to some channels, actually, some YouTube channels, carnivore YouTube channels. One is of a lady that was carnivore 65 years before carnivore was a thing. And it had a picture of her on the thumbnail, and I'm looking at it, it said carnivore 65 years and all that. I'm looking at that picture, and I'm like, she doesn't look 65, you know? And then I thought, she looks like she's like in her early 50s maybe. I thought, well, maybe she's been carnivore 65 years. Come to find out, watching the video, this lady was born in 1941. She's 82 or 3 years old, and been carnivore 65 years out of those 82 or 3 years. Incredible. And she looks like she's in her early 50s. Amazing, amazing, amazing. The other channels I put on there of some ladies that were very overweight or out of shape in the past, dealing with kind of issues that I was dealing with also, skin issues and things and the health issues. When carnivore, they lost a ton of weight. They look wonderful. No loose skin, nothing. And some of these women are in their 40s, and they look like they're in their early 30s, if that. Bright-eyed, nice white eyes, nice skin, just amazing, just amazing. And they've been carnivore for like 10, 13 years or more. I'm going to put videos also, or links to YouTube channels of, one is Dr. Anthony Chafee, very knowledgeable guy. I think he's a neurosurgeon, I'm not 100% sure, but very knowledgeable in the carnivore diet. He's been doing it, I think, about 10 years now. Dr. Barry He's also been carnivore for quite a while now, and some other links I'll put also down there. Check out these channels. Amazing, just amazing results, and how you feel. It's amazing. And do not believe the lies that the sugar industry and the pharmaceuticals put out about cholesterol and how bad meat and fat is and how bad meat is. It's all a bunch of lies, just so you could eat more carbs and buy their statin drugs. That's all. That was the whole reason for it. All right, guys, I think that's probably it for this video. Hope you got some information out of it. Check out the book, check out those links. And I hope you, if you're dealing with any kind of issues like this that I've talked about, if you're puffy, bloated, that's inflammation. Okay, you're eating the wrong kinds of food. Try a ketovore type diet where you're eating a little bit of vegetables and mostly meat. Your beef and your lamb and stuff like that, chicken and turkey. This book gives you tables in there. It shows you what vegetables are high in oxalates, like spinach, almonds, sweet potatoes. You know, those are foods that I used to eat all the time. Very high in oxalates. And it'll also give you an alternative, other vegetables and things to eat that are very low in oxalates. Maybe you can do a little bit of that, of the low ones, with meat, you know. Try that for a while and see how you feel. I'll pretty much guarantee you're going to feel a whole heck of a lot better after the first week. After that, try eliminating, if you can, all the vegetables and go strict carnivore. You will feel amazing. You'll feel full of energy because now you're not running on carbs anymore. You're running on ketones, the fat that you either have or you're eating. And you just feel amazing. Butter also. Add butter, lots of butter to your food and steaks and whatever else. Eat it. It's good for you. Okay, guys. I guess that's about it. Yeah. Thank you for watching. Please like, subscribe to my channel, and I will see you guys in my next video.
That's what you want? Huh? Ready?
Close your eyes.
Uh-oh. Way out to the side.
Get some rest. I'm by your side. Lay your head on my chest.
Come on, go. Come here, go. Come here. Come here, go.
I know you've had a really bad day.
Coco too? Oh, Coco wants to play.
But I'm right here, it's gonna be
Coco wants to play too.
The world
Wanna play
could
too,
fall
Coco?
down, it's gonna be okay.